In my last video, I mentioned why I'm going with Blue Guardian for my 50K prop firm challenge. If you want some context why I think you should check them out, click up here. In this video, I'm going to detail my exact plan that will help me pass phases 1 and 2 and get my first payout. If you ask an amateur what factors went into him taking a trade, you'll usually hear something vague like, I think price is gonna go up. Or, I don't know, it just feels right. Ask him about his sizing and he'll say, what do you mean? I always trade one lot. It's probably a waste of your time asking where he's going to get out of the trade. He might look offended like you're trying to jinx his trade. He just plays it by ear. I've backtested the super trend indicator, a breakout strategy, and the bounce method. Each of those have specific rules. If you went and did the backtest yourself, you and I should get exactly the same results. For this particular prop challenge, I'm going to trade all 7 of the major Forex pairs on the 4-hour time frame using the Ichimoku bounce trade. I've also shown you several ways to use the higher time frame to filter out less than ideal trades. To get up to speed, you can check out the first video here. I'll give you a quick rundown how it works. Then we'll go over some stats and talk about how likely I am to pass the prop challenge. So here we have a valid short signal. As we've talked about before, we set the initial stop loss to 1.75 times the ATR. This stop loss will either get hit or we'll move it when price closes above the moving average. Normally we'd move it 5 to 10 pips past the wick, but this would widen our initial stop loss, so we'll leave it in place. Stop loss is hit and we're taken out of the trade. Here we get a bounce to the upside. Stop loss is set based on the ATR and we don't do anything until it closes below the moving average. We don't close the trade, we just adjust the stop loss. Trade will either hit this new level or price will continue up. We closed at 98,231, moving average is 98,228. So we're still in the trade. So here we close below the moving average. We need to adjust the stop loss. We closed at 99,694. Moving average is 99,697. So we need to adjust the stop loss. Closed at 175. Moving average is 194. We wick through and this is where we got taken out. We don't have a fixed 2 to 1 with the bounce trade. Here we made 10.8 to 1. I took a little over 1,000 bounce trades. I'm gonna randomize the order and see how we would have done taking multiple challenges. We'll keep a running total profit and loss for each challenge. With Blue Guardian, we need 8% profit to pass stage 1 and fail at 10% overall drawdown. For phase 2, we pass with 4% and fail at 10%. To account for slippage and commissions, I'll make it a little harder on myself to pass. Instead of passing at 8%, I'll set it at 8.5%. And instead of failing, I'll lower it from 10% to 9.5%. For phase 2, I'll raise the passing by 0.5% and lower the max drawdown by 0.5%. Since the risk is set to 0.5%, 8.5 divided by 0.5 means I need 17 R to pass and 19 R to fail. To pass phase 2, I need 9 R. Let's scroll down and see how we did. Here we pass phase 1 of the challenge. We need to reset the totals for phase 2. We're scrolling until we see yellow or red. We have a profit of 10.9 R for phase 2, which means we passed both stages for challenge number 1. I'll save you the boredom of watching me scroll and we'll let you know the results. So far, we've seen the strategy is highly successful. In this sample, it passed 5 out of 5 phase 1s and 3 out of 4 phase 2 challenges. But before we think about becoming filthy rich, Realize this backtest covered 2017 up to 2023. 6 years of trading, and we passed 3 challenges. I know there's no time limit, but this is a snail's pace. Ideally, I'd like to pass or fail a phase in 1 month. So let's think about a few other ways we can increase this. What about risking only 0.5% per trade? It's good in the sense that it's safe. We'd have to lose our first 20 trades. And if you mix in some winners, many more losers than that. Let's look at what happens if we risk 1% per trade. Risking 1%, we passed 8 total challenges instead of only 3. That's a big jump, but still fairly slow for 6 years. What else can we do? Now, if you recall, the backtest was done over the 7 major FX pairs like Euro USD, but none of the crosses like Euro GBP. These would bring the total up to 28, giving us 4 times as many trades. There are 6 4-hour candles in a day, but I'm going to be sleeping through the early Euro session, and Asia is usually slow. So how else can I be present for more trades? We don't only have to stick to the 4-hour time frame. Dropping down to the 1 hour could potentially give 4 times as many signals, and the 15-minute even more. We always have to keep risk in mind and not be too concentrated. I'm looking for more trades, but spread out over more pairs. We saw before we moved our stop loss up on these 2 candles. Both of these candles would have given us another bounce signal, but since we were already in USD CHF, we only want to be in 1 bounce trade per pair, and we would pass on these last 2 signals. But if the signal were in GBP CAD, I'd be happy to get into more action. More risk per trade, more pairs, and the third option is trading more than 1 strategy. I've also made videos on the Ichimoku breakout method. I've said it so many times in other videos, but it's worth repeating. Everything must be tested. Just because a strategy works on Euro USD does not guarantee it's going to work on Euro CAD. By the same token, I can't take the 4-hour bounce strategy, jump down to the 15-minute, and assume no tweaks will be needed. So before I start my prop challenge next week, I'm going to backtest the rest of the 28 pairs on the 4-hour. As time goes on, I'll make my way down to the 1 hour and 15-minute. Check out Blue Guardian's link in the description below. If you want to know more about them, click here. And if you want to see how I came up with the bounce trade strategy, click here. Thanks for subscribing. Talk to you soon.